Good evening and welcome to Friday Night Thunder. Tonight we open the chase here at Las Vegas. Moonlight Racing League's ARCA series takes us to the mile-and-a-half oval at Las Vegas Motor Speedway to open our Season 3 chase, round 13. And it looks like it's going to be a lovely transition race. 86-degree air temperature, nice breezy day. That desert sand's going to be everywhere. I'm your host, Snake, and with me I've got my partner in crime, Smokin' Joe. Welcome, Joe.
Welcome to another season of the Chase, Season 3 Chase, about to commence once again. These guys getting ready for a new season, season reset pretty much. It's kind of like a season within a season sort of thing. Third time that this is going to be happening. Got some familiar faces up front and some new ones as well. Getting ready to go to battle here at Las Vegas.
All the seasons, Joe. And just to take a quick look at things, Kenneth Redinger, your defending series champion, was able to lock up the regular season title last week at Daytona. He's going to have himself a little bit of a cushion there with all the bonus points he accrued over the course of the regular season. That sets an 11-point deficit for Justin Parham to dig out of. Quite doable as Joe Volpis is just a point behind Justin there in third. Then you see Matt Novella in fourth. Eric Gambrell, I don't see him out there on the track tonight, so that's going to be a really big hit in fifth. And then sixth through 12th there, you see the gaggle. It's lined up very closely, so still anybody's chance as we open the chase, Joe. A lot can happen here, and it all starts tonight from Las Vegas.
Yeah, last minute addition. Brandon Garand makes the chase here as we see Andrew Davis unable to finish out the season. He'll hopefully return for next season. Brandon Garand, though, now going to have a chance to race for the championship. And you can see he got himself 4 bonus points in the regular season. So he's starting 19 points back. We'll see if he's able to make a big run of it. That's somebody down there that we're looking at down there with Jay Stinson, Tommy Fox, Dalton Connor, John Beverly, all towards the bottom here on these bonus points coming into the chase that are going to have some work to do. But as we know, Ken Redinger has this big points lead sorta to start the chase, but having that lead hasn't really mattered in the past. It's been the guys that have chased from behind to win the title.
So anything can happen here, as we say, after the reset in points and the application of the bonus points. You see what is at stake here. It starts tonight at Las Vegas here. We'll go ahead and take a look at what we've got going on the track there, as I think these guys are practicing getting ready for the qualifying. We just have a few races in the chase, Joe, so every point's going to matter. Every position is going to count tonight, and you just really have no margin for error here as the points are very tight.
Yeah, very tight to this point as we watch some of these guys come around qualify here. Currently, Jack Sanders is at the top of the board with a 29.77. Watching Dalton Connor, he goes third with a 29.89 right there. So he's able to put down a pretty solid lap on that time around. We've got David Owens out here on the racetrack. It looks like he's going for a second lap, hot lap. Some guys going first lap, some guys going second lap, I'm seeing here so far.
Also notably absent in attendance tonight, last week's winner, Matthew Fritz. Don't see him out in the field tonight either, Joe. So nor he or Gambrell. So that's going to really be a big hole for them. But you see David Owens, the current pole sitter, puts down a heater.
Yep, and here's Matt Novella, chase driver, coming out here and going to go second on the board here currently with a 72. That's about 700ths slower than David Owens, so a little bit of work to catch up here. But it looks like he went for the lap 1 heater. We'll see if he's got anything better here on lap 2, but usually it does seem like if you go for it, put all your eggs in lap 1, then lap 2 is not as good.
Yeah, so I hear a little bit of chatter over the comms, and it seems like turns 3 and 4 are a little bit slippery there. So these guys trying to find some grip there. That's going to have to be something we'll have to watch during the race and see if the track rubbers in and they get some grip there. But 3 and 4 is going to be the point of emphasis tonight.
Yeah, you see Justin Parham here starting second in the chase reset. He's got a little bit of ground to make up to Ken Redinger, but 5 races to do it this season. Able to get done, especially with qualifying efforts like that, puts him third on the board currently, which is in front of his teammate there, the points leader, Ken Redinger, currently.
Absolutely. Podium Parham there currently third. We got Ken Redinger there in that grandstand 24. Ken's no stranger to earning poles himself. As you see, he led many laps this season. You were just seeing that 24 on the hunt, on the prowl, dives down to the apron there at the line. That's going to unseat Parham from the podium. Going to put Ken Redinger currently third.
Yeah, we got some other guys completing laps really quick there. Zach Stevens, Jason Landry go fourth and fifth, and Joe Amato goes sixth. Looks like he's just going to have enough time to complete his second lap. This is going to be the last lap somebody puts down here, see?
The Bucky's 19, a Joe Amato sighting tonight. So we see Joe looking racy in that 19. Looks like he stopped at the Bucky's on the way to the quali. See what he can put down here. As you see, time is running down on the qualifying clock.
Oh.
Woo! Almost hits that wall there out of 4.
And that's it.
And
I think we're out of
that's
time.
he didn't make it, guys. He got
Oh,
teleported to
no.
an alternate universe. So after qualifying here, David Owens is going to be your pole sitter. The Zero Chill number 8 is going to put down a 29.647 on the clock. Matt Novellis also very close, going to be outside row 1. And in row 2, you have Ken Redinger in third. Zach Stevens going to start outside row 2. Jason Landry, the Canadian SOL driver, is going to be in fifth. Joe Amato going to start outside row 3. Justin Parham inside row 4. Sanders outside. Blake Tuggle and Steve Lewis going to round out row 5.
Going through the rest of the field, we see Dalton Connor going to start in 11th. That's one of our chase drivers, of course, right there. He's starting in 11th, so he's got a bit of work to make up, along with Joe Volpa starting in 12th. Behind him, another row of chase drivers, Jay Stinson, John Beverly, going to start back there on row 7. Row number 8 sees two of the guys that have been part-timers this year, but looking to get some good runs. That's David Brenner, Chase Greer. Then we got Tommy Fox starting back in 17th. He was the last one to put down a lap time. You got Richard Swingle starting alongside him with no time, and Brandon Garand going to round out the field here tonight, also not putting down a qualifying lap. And
That's a shame, Joe. I usually like to call Tommy Top 10 Tommy for his qualifying efforts there.
yeah, it's unfortunate he didn't get a good lap time down there at all. Didn't even get one down, actually, to be fair. And as everybody gets ready to rock and roll, I think we have ourselves a special message once again to get us commenced for another race.
Yeah, let's go down trackside for the call.
Here to give the command, please welcome our Grand Marshal, owner of Star Importers, Monty Huda.
Drivers, start your engine.
Fired up.
You hear the sound of engines revving and combustion smoke in the air. Monty Huda once again brings the passion to motorsport here. Pace car has them all lined up, and we are going to be off to pacing here. All right, Joe, we're at Vegas. We're opening the chase here. What are we looking for in terms of how to run the track here on this initial green flag run, as these guys are going to have to stop? I think we get about, 50 laps out of a tank of gas here tonight.
Yeah, so we're looking 45 to 50 here on that pit strategy. Only 2 sets of additional tires in the pits, remember. So only 2 sets to work with, so everybody has to pit twice. So we'll see if there's any sort of strategy with tires here tonight. We're looking to see how much dirty air really affects the car here. We've seen it at other mile and a halves, Chicagoland, Kansas, tracks like that, where dirty air really comes into effect trying to run different lines. We'll see if that holds true here once again. Tire wear hasn't really been that much of a deal at other mile and a halves, especially going under the lights here. We'll see if that also holds true again for tonight's race. And then, yeah, I think the draft is just going to have a big effect as always.
Yeah, we've seen that draft effect at other mile and a halves and at super speedways, and it is quite intense It really bottles up the field. You're going to see pack racing. It's going to be at a premium tonight, just as we've seen in other mile-and-a-half layouts this season. So it's going to be very exciting to see how these guys manage their equipment, manage their runs, and take care of themselves and each other. Pace car in, and we're off racing tonight. David Owens gets a great jump at the line. Novella tries to match him on the outside. The chase has begun. It's Friday Night Thunder. Look at them side by side. 3 wide already in a turn 1, Joe.
Yeah, it looks like Joe Amato trying to make a move around the outside right there off the start. Thought about 3 wide, tucks back into line though. And now David Owens under attack from Matt Novella, who's on the outside. We'll see if the high line or low line is the advantage here early.
Yeah, running that high line early does take an effect on the tires. Oh, contact. A little beating and banging Amato down there. A little contact there with Landry. They're able to clean it up there, but Matt Novella out in front, going to take the lead. Matt Novella takes it from David Owens.
Yeah, David Owens not going to push the car, looks like, that hard here off the start, but some other guys pushing it really hard. Look at this back here. You got Jason Landry. I see Joe Amato. This is an absolute scramble here going on. Amato thinking about taking your points leader 3 wide there.
Yeah, he was thinking about it. Look at the dive down to the bottom there. David Owens blocking, throwing down the block on Zach Stevens there, but Stevens able to go inside, challenging Owens there. Very aggressive move. Ken Redinger was probably holding his breath there, but it stayed in the gas. Look at Amato challenge on the outside as well. Looks like the high line is the dominant line early, so we'll have to see how that shakes out as the track transitions from day into night.
Yeah, he's really ripping the boards here early. Not all the way up against the wall yet, but definitely high up on the track.
Look at Zach Stevens going underneath there on the apron there. Going to get the position on Novella. They're side by side in 1 and 2. Challenge for the lead there. And it looks like Novella's going to be able to carry that momentum outside. You pay a little bit of a price running that inside there. Looks like the outside is prevailing.
Yeah, Joe Amato just ran the fastest lap of the race that last time around at 29.63. So the outside has a lot of momentum working for it, but you got to use it right. Saw the 19 get a little bit loose. It looks like he is going to get to the outside of Novella here, though, into 1.
Novella in the middle right there. And it looks like Amato's going to use the momentum and wrap the top over there. He's going to carry it. They're side-by-side challenge for the lead. It looks like Amato's going to take the point. And Amato, your new race leader, Ken Redinger, following closely behind him, going to take second. A little 2 for 3 for 1 is Stevens. Novella getting swallowed up there in the middle.
Novella falling backwards here, not able to run the line he wants. Gets the
Novella in the wall.
And now he's going to get split.
That's going to be an ouchie there. 4 wide through the D oval.
Looks like Landry going to tuck in behind him here, give him a little bit of a shove, and Novella does get cleared. Contact!
Woo! Contact and smoke, but I think they've gathered it up. They've kept it together, but that's just the tendency of this pack racing that we're seeing early. These guys are aggressive early, Joe.
Yeah, it looked like Landry and Parham had a little bit of contact down there from the scramble. Also seeing some smoke down here in 3 and 4. I think the 19 might have gone a little bit loose because Ken Redinger got to his inside.
That's it, man. Look at that. Redinger getting a little bit of help there, a little bit of a shove from Zach Stevens there. And Ken Redinger, he's taking care of business now, your new race leader.
Yeah, early on, Ken Redinger taking the lead now from Amato. Place that we've seen that 24 car a lot so far this season. Looks like he's going to try and continue the trend. As further on back in 7th place, you see Dalton Connor, who's worked his way forward pretty good here off the rip. Side by side with Jack Sanders. Looks like he's going to be able to clear him for 7th. And then further on back, I see it looks like Vulpes and Louis were side by side
Lewis,
there.
yeah.
But now they are
Steve Lewis,
single
9
file
right
out.
there. You see Redinger got credit for the lap led there with Amato and Stevens in tow right there. A little single file racing. They're kind of starting to settle it down a little bit.
Oh, the 47.
56, a little contact with the 47. 47 able to save it, but he's going to bleed some positions right there as he's off the pace just a bit. Going to keep it down low and keep out of trouble there, but a big breath, hold your breath moment there out of the 47.
Yeah, that move is going to push him from 3rd to 12th. A loss of 9 spots right there for Zach Stevens, but he still has his car in one piece. So, get some silver linings right there.
Yeah, just a little bit of maybe sliding the tires there. So You know, maybe they got a little heated up. Maybe just take it easy for a lap or two, gather it back up, just stay in line there. Got a lot of race ahead of us. We're only 10 laps in for our 110 lap main feature from Las Vegas. The Las Vegas 165 indeed. And you see Ken Redinger is taking early control of the race, but Joe L'Amato, he's not letting him go. A little bit of a gap there, 4 car lengths back to Matt Novella, but the 19 is hunting that 24.
Yeah, a lot of racing going on all over the place right now as these guys continue to race hard. And oh, we got trouble.
I see smoke back there. I see the 25 of Jack Sanders in the infield. That's going to bring out tonight's first caution. The 25 Lowe's machine of Jack Sanders in the infield as you see him spinning out of 4. We're going to have to see what caused that contact, but that brings out the yellow for tonight's first caution.
First caution of the night here. Jack Sanders going to fall to the back of the field as it looked like he went for a ride in the infield. We'll take
the Colonel.
Have to take a look at that as...
Was that original recipe or extra crispy, Joe? The Colonel can't be happy.
It looks like people are barbecuing down the backstretch too. Not sure what's going on there, but we'll go take a look and see what happened to Sanders here. You can see he's already out of control.
Making me hungry.
Oh.
So take a look right there, and just like we were suspecting there, is a little bit of a grip issue in turns 3 and 4 right there. You get on that throttle a little too much. That car just wants to snap on you, almost like ice skating. Luckily, right there, the 25 wasn't able to incur any damage on that. You see Connor able to avoid him there in the rest of the field. So, you know, that's good on Jack right there, but he did slide those tires. So we're going to see what happens here as you see some early takers on the pit road.
Yeah, so everybody's come down pit road except for Richard Swingle.
Old Dingle Swingle.
Oh, Jason Landry, it looks like, also stayed out. So Jason Landry and Richard Swingle decide not to take the chance to splash and dash on fuel here. So that looks like what everybody else is doing, is taking some fuel just to get a little bit further into the race.
Joe Amato beats Redinger out of the pits right there, so you see that. And Beverly in the pits, the 77 there. I don't know what took him a little extra time to do there, but I think he just decided to take a splash and dash and just wait the field out.
Yeah, not sure. He was chilling down there for a little bit. So
yeah, I think he saw the chaos, Joe, and said, "You know what? We'll just let you guys go right now."
And that'll put him into the rear of the field. Sanders able to get out of all this in 18, with one car still in one piece here. However, it did not take tires there, so we'll see if that slide has any sort of residual effect here now. Feel like it's too early to take tires, and obviously Jack did as well based on what's going on.
You know, just have to forego potential flat spotting of those tires there. Hopefully they kind of even out a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't cause a vibration or affect the handle on the car. But you see right now, Jason Landry and Richard Swingle have inherited the front row. Landry elected to take the inside here on the restart. So very curious strategy. They avoid the splash and dash, so they have 10 laps fewer on their in the tank. So maybe they're banking on some more cautions or just going to work this strategy from the back forward in reverse, as they say.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, pitting for fuel there maybe puts you in the window to make it on one stop. But looks like the tires might be a bit more of an issue than guys were thinking originally. So, you know, maybe they're thinking a two-stop is still the best way to go about this, or more cautions and pit for tires a little bit later as we head further into the night.
And you could see the track definitely made a little bit of a transition, getting a little darker out there. So the sun is starting to go down. Maybe those track temps cool down just a little bit. Maybe the track rubbers in, gets a little bit more grip. But a very exciting first stint this point. Up to this point, these guys are very racy. We saw 3, 4, almost 5 wide through the D oval there. It's only a matter of time before these guys really start putting on a show for us, and that was quite the appetizer. Landry gets the great jump on the restart right there. Richard Swingle unable to respond. We're back racing from Vegas. Look at that jump he got, Joe. He's right out there clearing them.
Yeah, got a great restart here. And it's going to help Joe Amato potentially clear Richard Swingle here out of turn 2, actually. We'll see if he's able to get it done. Oh, he gets a little bit loose right there. Not able to get it done,
Loosey-goosey.
and now we're 3 wide.
3 wide of Vegas, baby. Check it out. Zach Stevens on the inside.
Uh-oh,
Richard
uh-oh,
Swingle, Amato
uh-oh.
contact. Swingle almost in the wall. Amato spinning again. They're wrecking. Matt Novella
Oh.
involved. Dalton. Woo! Richard Swingle as well. We're under caution again as we have the baby big one from the gambling capital of North America.
Yeah, a lot of cars damaged. It looks like Novella with some damage. Parham looks like may have gotten caught up in it. Amato with a lot of damage there. We saw a couple other guys. Dalton Connor, he's down here on the pits with damage. A lot of damage. That car is fast
Connor is
repair.
good.
Yeah, that's a fast repair. Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh my, she won't turn, Daryl. Oh my goodness, the camber is out on that car. It is dragging some parts underneath. Just wrong place at the wrong time for the 93. Unfortunate set of circumstances. Luckily, you have the fast repair, so able to use that. You see a couple guys able to use pit road to avoid the wreck. They'll get their black flags cleared to save any damage there. But Amato, he's got a hurt race car right now. And Jason Landry was able to stay ahead of that trouble. Unpack this for us, Joe. What are you seeing here?
Yeah, just middle 3 wide, gets really loose, knocks the 97, and then out of control completely, comes down into the 56. 93 gets collected, and a couple other guys back here. I think we'll get a better overview of everybody that was involved here. Yeah, here you go.
There it is. Yeah, just look at that. Takes the air off a little bit, and it's a little slippery in 3 and 4. As we mentioned, you just saw Jack Sanders lose it on entry there, and Amato at speed, 3 wide, maybe takes a little bit of air off that quarter. You see him getting a little squirrely here.
Yeah, right there, just center corner, just out of control. The
Snaps
knock
loose
with the,
on you.
yeah, even the knock with the 97 didn't help him save it. Just sent it even more out of control.
So luckily for these guys, they have the fast repair in pocket. It's never an ideal situation when you have to use one, especially early in the race. So it kind of, changes your strategy and maybe it scales back the level of aggression. It's just a racing deal right there. They're 3 wide. Just really nothing you can do there.
Yeah, pretty much that's what we're seeing. Just circumstance, victim of circumstance right there. And it does look like we're going to have another pace lap at least here, so not really much going on down there on pit road other than damage fixing, so maybe a good time to shout out those sponsors.
Absolutely. There's a gentleman here, and he's got a familiar question, so check him out.
Here at KK Woodscapes, we only work with the finest woods, the finest tools. We sand the wood here at KK Woodscapes. We stir the paint with a wooden stick here at KK Woodscapes. And then we brush the wood with a wooden brush here at KK Woodscapes. And when it's all said and done, we have these perfectly manicured nails. Put the plaques in the trophies, in the envelopes, ship them to your box, and on your way to you to commemorate your special day. Got wood, KK Woodscapes.
And we're back. It's a riveting question. I know the answer. Hopefully you do as well. So if you have any trophy or award needs, KK Woodscapes can bring your creation to life. Please reach out to Kevin Kyle. He's got a great thing going on within the iRacing community, sponsors a lot of the trophies and awards for this series and more. KK Woodscapes. Got wood?
I'll tell you what I do got. I got another restarting coming here for you. You got Jason Landry, David Owens on the front row, so a bit of a nod here to the old Sunday series.
Yeah, so, Landry elects the outside for this restart. He saw what happened last time. He gets a great jump. We're back racing here. Be lap 18 of 110 at the line. Jason Landry going to be able to clear both lanes. David Owens holding down the bottom lane right there. They're a little bit more gathered up. Landry able to get the perfect entry. Going to clear everybody through 1 and 2. Ken Redinger giving Owens a little bit of what for there on the bottom, looking inside, but they're going to stay on the outside. You got a battle with Stevens and Volpus side by side right there, heading into 3 and 4.
Yeah, but once again, the leader just able to get such a good jump. make it work. But after that, it looks like the inside is the place to be. We saw the inside cars really able to rally up there and get a couple spots. Volbus went from 4th, and he's dropping back to 5th, and he's going to get to the inside here. So lost a couple spots right there on that restart. Even after the good jump, remember, it looked like he was going to get up to 3rd.
He did. Chase Greer looking inside.
Yeah, now you got Chase Greer peeking. You got Zachary Stevens peeking. You got Ken Redinger. And now we got the 8 around.
And you got David Owens hitting. So David Owens in the wall right there. Not heavy contact, but that's going to be enough to bring out the 3rd caution for cause tonight at Las Vegas. The 8, David Owens right there. You saw them all bottled up, Joe. It was just a matter of time. They're just going to get together, and you see a little bit of crease to that right front. We'll see if that's fixable damage or not, but David Owens, your latest victim at Vegas.
Yeah, and someone that's going to be really happy to see this caution is going to be Dalton Connor, as he should get the lucky dog free pass here to get back on the lead lap. He fell a lap down fixing damage. You see Joe Amato right in front of him. He's 4 laps down right now after that last caution. But Dalton Connor should get back on the lead lap here, to my knowledge. Didn't see him involved in the wreck.
Yeah, so good on Dalton Connor. Had to use that fast repair after the last caution after he got violently collected in that incident to bring out caution number 2 there. You know, he's going to be able to get that lucky dog. He's in the chase, so a very important swing of momentum for him. So he'll be able to get back and get himself squared away. I still think it's a little early for tires at this point. I don't see many takers down pit road. I think these guys are going to try to ride out that run here, seeing that we've had a couple cautions breed cautions.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody in the pits long enough for it to constitute tires at this point. Just damage fixing pretty much is what I'm seeing. So, like Blake Tuggle just came down to splash and dash. It's like the same with Richard Swingle. Owen's getting his damage fixed right here. So nobody's still putting on tires at this point.
Looks like repairable damage for the 8, so that's a good sign for him. Going to keep that fast repair in pocket. Going to ride on board here and see what happened. And it looks like, yeah, that's just that common theme that we're starting to see through 3 and 4 there. Just a slick set of corners for the track tonight.
Yeah, you can see everybody just getting behind on the steering. Once it snaps, it's very hard to bring it back. And it does look like there was some neck code contact, because the 47 to Stevens, there was like, it shows there's contact there, but there's no damage to either the left front or the right front of the 47 or the 8. So that tells me that was neck code.
Yeah, pretty incredible, because the animation shows like it was heavier contact there. So pretty wild scenario, but Owens able to fix on that damage, get back in the race, stay on the lead lap, I do believe. As you see, he's getting out of the pits ahead of the pace car, so good on him. He'll still be able to be competitive on the lead lap.
Yep, looks like, yeah, that's going to leave 18 cars on the lead lap, with Dalton Connor getting the lucky dog. Swingle coming down for another splash and dash. And then Amato 4 laps down. So Amato got some work to do if he wants to get back into this. But, you know, it's possible. We're only 20 laps in.
20 laps in, 3 cautions deep, plenty of time. I know it's early in the race, but I've noticed a few trends thus far, Joe. You know, these guys are just wadded up. It's pack racing, as you see these guys just driving everywhere for any kind of square inch of real estate to try to make the passes happen. These cars are so bunched together. What's the key to survival here?
Yeah, the key to survival here, I think, is throttle control. At this point, it does seem like matting it is not helping that much as it would in other tracks with this car. A lot of partial throttle, and even then it's doing some weird stuff in 3 and 4 that we saw the next gen used to do. So I think you got to take your next gen knowledge into this race with this track.
Well, Jason Landry is going to elect to be on the bottom for this one. Pace car in, we are back, and Landry gets a great jump. Redinger able to fire on the top, but Landry has been the master of the restart tonight. We're back racing from Vegas. He's able to clear once again. Going to get the preferred entry into 1 and 2. Look at Zach Stevens coming on the inside there, charging, challenging Redinger for second. Redinger's going to wrap the top. He's got Volpus behind him, Chase Greer behind Stevens there. It's a drag race for second.
Yeah, a lot of chaos going on back through the field. Saw Parham and Brenner get a little close. Steve Lewis and Brandon Guerin side by side for 8th. On back, Ken Redinger able to re-clear though for second. And now on the back bumper of the 50s, 565, trying to sneak up his inside here, not able to get it done. Gonna stay in line. And then everybody on back, still side by side. You see Parham, Volpus side by side, Steve Lewis right there side by side. Blake Tuggle also on the outside as well on back through the field.
Absolutely. So Redinger going to stay in second. You've got Stevens behind him in third, Chase Greer in fourth, Volpus side by side right there with Parham for fifth. And a little smoke there, but able to keep it moving. A little close call as these guys are 3 wide trying to gain these precious positions.
Oh, I heard
See
contact.
Jack Sanders,
I heard contact. It sounded like.
contact there. Oh
Oh,
my.
the 0-0.
Oh my, Tommy Fox involved. Oh my goodness, no nose. Oh my gosh, Tommy Fox going to have to go to the pits right there. There's a cone awry. And look at the pieces falling off of race cars. Oh my goodness. Caution is finally out. Richard Swingle without a nose. Richard Swingle involved as well. Brings out the 4th caution of the night. And we just can't get a green flag run going tonight here from Vegas.
Tommy Fox out of the race. It looks like Joe Amato is as well. Richard Swingle going to be able to keep going, but 2 cars are going to be out of the race from this wreck.
That's really unfortunate. Tommy Fox, a chase contender. He's going to have to retire his night over early. That's a shame.
Go back and see what happened here.
A little contact with the wall, perhaps. Drifts down and... Oh my goodness. Richard Swingle gave it the full send, buddy.
Yeah, this is a tough one here. So, you know, you got these guys are racing at the back of the field. You know, Tommy's just trying to do his thing back here. Amato back here as well. He's chilling 4 laps down, so it's kind of weird situation this early in the race. Right here, I'm gonna assume that Tommy's probably thinking that Joe's just gonna chill. Richard Swingle was probably thinking that as well, and then ends up in the back bumper of him. But yeah, awkward situation that you don't usually see, especially at the back of the field there. Contact between the 00 and the 19.
So there's an unfortunate circumstance there. Brings out our latest caution of the night. Chase contender Tommy Fox unable to continue. That's going to hurt him in the points. You don't like to see that with any of these guys trying to run for a championship. Just early in the race, usually early in the race, you see a lot of give and take. Just a miscommunication there. And maybe it was a clear, not clear situation from the spotter, but hate to see that. Hate to see that.
Yeah, tough break right there. That's going to put Tommy Fox into a big hole here to start the chase as well. Back in 18th out of the race, Amato out of the race as well. So at least 17 cars still in it. Dalton Connor, Swingle, still getting damage fixed maybe. Not sure. I'm going to assume Swingle used his faster pair based on the pit time. And we'll look at that car.
Yeah. He's got a nose on it again, so yeah, that car was looking pretty beat up there. So you see Connor and getting all that taken care of. So good to see those guys have those cars fixed up. Still on the lead lap. Jason Landry, your current leader. Ken Redinger in 2nd place right there. And it looks like Landry's going to elect to take the bottom again. But now you have Redinger on the outside, going to get a second chance at that restart. Try to time that up. Landry's had the mojo there. Nobody's been able to time him in the box. So we'll see what happens this time around. As the pace car lights are off, we'll go green this time. And let's see if we can get this settled here.
Very interesting to note here is Landry has not pitted yet either. So he has the least amount of fuel on track by far compared to everybody else. Anywhere from 11 to 25 laps less fuel than everybody else on the racetrack.
The interesting part about this, all these cautions are helping him, despite the difference. All these laps are clicking away under caution. He'll be able to carry that run and still be able to have a workable strategy here. So I don't think it's that mismatched as compared to the first caution where you saw he and Swingle staying out. Now he's starting to get these yellow flag laps, going to save some fuel under caution. So maybe that 565 has a few trick up his sleeve.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens here, but we got to go green before we start thinking about any sort of pit strategy.
Well, we've been having a little difficulty doing that, but pace car is off one more time. Re-rack him here again. Could be lap 29 at the line. Landry on the inside, Redinger on the outside. Landry gets a great jump again. Outside, unable to respond. Landry's got the great jump right there. Clears both rows, able to get that perfect corner entry. Time and time again, Zach Stevens trying to challenge Redinger for second on the inside. Chase Greer in the middle in that 40, and look at Justin Parham coming.
Yeah, Justin Parham, we saw him got shuffled back early. Same with Zach Stevens. Both of them now back up in the top 5 right here, battling for top 5 spots. So they've been able to turn their race around really quick right here to get back into the hunt. As Ken Redinger once again on the back bumper of that number 565, maybe trying to set up a move here once again.
Looked like Volpus almost hit the wall in the D-oval right there, but Redinger is going to look outside right there, going to carry some momentum, battle for the lead right here. Redinger looking racy outside. He's going to have a slight advantage down the backstretch, going to be able to clear Landry. New race leader. Ken Redinger retakes the lead.
Zach Stevens going to try and pounce here right away, and it looks like he's not going to be able to get it done, but rather going to be under attack now from teammate Justin Parham from behind. It looks like they're going to settle back into single file. Actually, Chase Greer going to try and make a move around the outside. He's up 11 spots here, but it looks like it's not going to work in his favor. He might lose a spot, actually, out of all this.
Yeah, Chase Greer looking racy early, but trying to stick to the top right there. But it looks like there's a freight train on the bottom. You see Volpus on the heels of Parham, who's on the heels of Stevens. They're right there with Landry and Redinger. Look at that. It's a breakaway. They're running the bottom now, where you saw early in the race the high line was the dominant place to be.
Yeah, maybe while these tires wear in, the outside just doesn't become as good as the inside. It's maybe too early to tell, though, because the outside's still showing a lot of momentum as everybody tries to sneak their way back up there. Chase Greer, you can see using this outside. David Owens way out there as well, along with Zach Stevens. So a lot of different lines being run here, just trying to find the best place on track to run.
Whoa! I think I saw a car or two sideways right there as we went to the different camera angle. Look at Steve Lewis and Beverly right there. They did a synchronized spin, able to gather it back up. That's going to cost them a couple seconds off of the lead pack.
Yep, they're going back in the forward direction, though, so good job by them to not wreck altogether. But now they're 5 seconds behind the leader, so a lot of time for them to make up right here from here on out. We'll see if they're able to get it done here or not as Ken Redinger continues to lead over Jason Landry, and now Justin Parham challenging for third.
Absolutely. Look at Parham sending it down inside right there, side by side with Landry on corner entry. They're going to be side by side, corner out, and it's a drag race. Chase Greer, look at him moving up there, sliding up, trying to make some moves happen. And Zach Stevens going to wrap the top again, trying to use that high line, but Redinger is using the middle right now to maintain.
Oh, there goes another car.
Woo! And you see another car going. That's Joe Volpus going for a ride. Volpus with a spin. Oh, my goodness. Look at 3 and 4. Oh, my goodness. Look at Steve Lewis almost T-bone Volpus.
Yeah, he thought about it, but able to sneak by without much trouble. No caution here once again for this incident as the guys up front continue to race hard. Zach Stevens looking underneath the 56.
Incredible action there. 3 and 4 is the definite trouble spot tonight. But look at these guys. It's a 5-car breakaway. David Brenner about 3 cars behind in 6th right there. But take a look. Zach Stevens is going to dive it in there, going to try to find a way to get around Landry. And Redinger is going to drift it up high. And check it out. Parham in the mix too right there. And it looks like Stevens is going to be hung out to dry. These guys are going to migrate up top and use the high line there. And looks like side-by-side Parham's going to be able to clear the 47
Oh,
right
boy.
there. Justin Parham, a little wiggle on exit there, but Parham's coming.
Yeah, Parham using the outside right there. 24 going to go up and block here. We'll see now if Landry's able to take advantage of that and use the bottom to take the lead.
Yeah, so Landry's going to try to be sneaky watching these guys battle. He's going to try to take the line they're not taking. The 565 being very crafty right here, staying on the bottom. Parham trying to find a way to get around that 24, but the 24 is putting on a good block,
Ooh.
using enough side draft with the 565 to stay together right there. And it's a gaggle. It just invites more cars behind them. As you see that front pack, it's a 7-car breakaway. David Owens and David Brenner have entered the picture now.
Yeah, they've now caught back up to this lead group as things continue on. 24 and the 99 on the outside, using the draft here, and they're going to take control of the race, it looks like, this time around.
Oh, look at Parham there. He thought about diving down there. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Woo! Save it, boys. Parham, all sorts of wiggly there. Loosey-goosey, baby.
Yeah, big chaos right there. Could have been a big wreck. Everybody did a good job not wrecking, though. And it's now created a 9-car breakaway. It's now 9 cars are in this
Look at Blake
group.
Tuggle. Blake Tuggle entering this battle. He said he wants some. Come on, come all. Blake Tuggle enters the mix side by side with Stevens right there.
Looked like we had some other issues in the back. Jack Sanders lost a lot of time. I saw him in pits, actually. John Beverly also lost time here as well. He's going to actually fall to 17th here. So those guys had some trouble. We'll have to go back and look at that in a little bit.
Yeah, hearing some comms over the radio, they both lost it out of 3 and 4 and slid through the pit lane. So 3 and 4, a treacherous place tonight. It's just unbelievable, losing count of how many cars have had peril there tonight. But the action is up front, and look at Zachary Stevens there on the heels of Jason Landry. We have a battle for the lead here. Oh my goodness, 47 loses it out of 4.
Now the 47 loses it out of 4. That is a big moment, but he's able to keep it going in the forward direction. Good job by him. But yeah, that's another one right there.
That's the second time he's lost it. This time a little bit more extreme. He's going to bleed a lot more positions and lose the pack this time around. But that only benefits Jason Landry as he's got himself a 7-car lead over Ken Redinger right now, using that clean air to his advantage.
Yeah, definitely using that clean air. And now these guys are packed up, and that's just not going to do them well. Jason Landry, this is the thing with tracks like this. We saw it at Michigan. We've seen it at Auto Club tracks like this where the draft is so prevalent. You know, when you get packed up like this, if one car gets away, as soon as they break the draft, everything ends up being all right for them, and they're able to just pull away without much trouble. Look at that, 39 gets loose.
Yeah, Blake Tuggle, a little bit of an issue there on the tie side right there. But what I'm seeing is that 22 of David Brenner having a great run tonight. They're just under halfway tonight. That 22 is making a statement there in P3 currently, trying to get around Redinger for second.
Looks like the 13 had some more trouble, ends up a lap down actually on the apron here. So that's the only car a lap down now at this point, but in 17. So a lot of chaos going on still around the track that we're not catching.
Yeah.
Oh, now
Brenner
the 22.
The 22 there got a little bit of loose. I think Parham took the air off of that spoiler right there, but Brenner able to save it, but he's going to bleed lots of positions, but keep the car intact. Wow.
Yeah, we're just seeing it all over the place right now. It's absolute pandemonium on the racetrack right now with all the stuff that's going on out here.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
I think these guys are saying, you know, we're going to be needing some tires soon. We just are lacking the grip right now. But look at that.
Here we go again.
Parham drifting it through 3 and 4. It is a slip and slide out there as this track is not rubbering up and gripping like we thought it would as the sun is setting in the background. These guys are having their hands full tonight to open up this chase on Friday Night Thunder.
Yeah, they're pretty much slipping and sliding everywhere across this racetrack. Right now, it looks like everybody's spread out for the most part, though, so we'll see how long that holds on for. Jason Landry doing the best right now of keeping the car going in the forward direction, pulling away in a hurry.
He's waved
here.
Goodbye. He has waved goodbye. He said, I'm going to put all the chips to black, and right now he is the big winner. Look at Landry go, boys.
Yeah, he's by far the fastest car on the track, 2/10 faster than the guys behind him. So we see just how much better he is right now at either saving the tires or running the right line with the car in the way it's currently driving. Just pulling away. Ken Renger trying to keep up with him, but just not able to run the same lap times as Landry. 2/10 slower once again. It looks like with the draft, maybe Parham a little bit faster than Landry. So
But I see David Owens trying to inch his way closer to Redinger. Nice recovery out of that 8 machine after the early incident and damage, but Parham's going to gain the advantage on the inside, challenging Owens for third.
yeah, Parham was fastest on the track last time. Not sure if that was draft or if that was just the way he is. It looks like that's just his pace right now because he's making this move for third currently.
Absolutely, and Matt Novella is right behind them saying, hey boys, tow me along. I want a piece of this
Oh,
action.
oh, oh, oh.
Look at that. Dalton Connor is around in the restart zone right there. Cars coming
Yeller.
on the track. He is down under the off the pace. That's going to bring out the yellow. You see the yellow light flashing in the background. Caution out for the 5th time tonight from Vegas as some of these guys were getting ready to perhaps pit. So this is going to shake things up a bit. And I think the beneficiary here, Joe, is going to be Landry, who's probably counting down the laps before he had to come in.
Yeah, so we got a lot to go back and unpack here over that whole run. So we had some guys get loose early. So, the first one that, we caught last second there, Steve Lewis and John Beverly both synchronized, almost spinning through the pits, go
How
through
does
the
that
grass.
happen?
Very interesting how that happened
Explain
to
to
both
the
of them.
viewer. Explain to the viewer at home how something like that happens, because that was like a synchronized deal.
Yeah, never really see that happen with two people the same. Well, I guess right there you saw Owens get loose at the same time as Joe completely loses it. So something weird going on, I guess, with cars around each other. Not really sure. Never really seen much of anything like this. I know we saw John Beverly here. He is getting loose. He already loose at this point, and still drifting it, and then uses pit road. And you can see a car up there that's going through the pits here. That's Jack Sanders, and we're going to see what his adventure was at the same time here. As you can see, Beverly still
Like we need to
wheeling
do
it.
a little. He fancies himself a part-time landscaper in his free time. Just want to show off his skills there. And Jack Sanders said, "Hold my beer. Look at my landscaping skills. I'll take that extra crispy bucket of chicken and I will chase it down with a ice cold Budweiser." Unbelievable. But Sanders, the smarter move, running through the pits there to get all that debris off the tires. And then look at Volpus here. Already saw him with that earlier spin. He says, "I want to do that again." That seemed, I'm going to put a twist in it as well and outlandscape both of you boys.
Yeah, so 2 times around. Very interesting how none of these were cautions because we saw Sanders spin earlier in the race be a caution. So very interesting. We also saw Zach Stevens go for a ride through the grass. Here is Beverly once again having another moment out of 4. I mean, you can see the run in different lines every time too.
Just
So
trying
it's
different things to avoid that, I suppose. And it's just inevitable. Once it grabs you, you're just going along for the ride.
and then here's your caution right here. So this one had cars around when it happened, so he loses it, and then there's Jay
Oh,
Stinson.
Stinson, yeah. Unfortunately, Stinson nowhere to go. T-bones the 93, gets him out of his way. I'm sure that 98's going to have damage there. But yeah, caution finally after you saw all of those cars spinning under their own power under green flag, and it stayed green. Wild here. A lot of those were chase drivers, so they're happy to see this caution right now so they can kind of regroup, maybe put some fresh rubber on the car and maybe beat out a few of those dents they may have incurred from landscaping. My goodness, that's incredible to see that kind of action here at a track like Vegas.
Yeah, it's driving a lot like the next gen does here, so that's what we're seeing at least through 3 and 4, at least what the next gen used to drive like here, and it's just kind of throwing everybody for a loop with the way this car usually drives compared to every other track. So a little weird. Everybody trying to do their best with it, but a lot of trouble with it. So we see Volpus gets back on the lead lap. Everybody took tires that time, so nobody decided that tires wasn't a good idea. Everybody took them.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think with Vegas, it may be a little bit of an abrasive surface. You have the desert sands all around wearing on this track year in and year out. So I think it's a wise move to get to rubber up and give this another go. I'm sure some of those drivers that were going for those slides through 3 and 4 are holding on for their dear lives at this point in the run.
yeah, so that's pretty much a full tank of fuel, or a conventional full tank of fuel and tires. So everybody pretty much hit a full fuel run there. So Landry happy to see that caution because it helps him cycle to stay in the lead.
These guys are going to have to pit one more time as nobody can make it to the end. Pace car is off. David Owens on the inside. Jason Landry elects for the outside here. And we're back racing. Landry gets a great jump on the outside. David Owens tries the match on the inside. We got lap 52 of 110 tonight from Vegas. And Landry does it yet again. Going to clear both rows. Going to get the preferred entry into 1 and 2. David Owens going to try to battle back on the inside. He's got Ken Redinger nipping on the heels. Look at Parham wrapping the top coming outside.
Yeah, everybody on fresh tires under the lights now, so maybe the car's going to drive a little bit different. We'll see if that's the case or not. Everybody's still on the lead lap that's still racing, so all 17 of these guys on the lead lap. Here we go, 3 wide maybe. Never mind.
3 wide for Vegas.
Thought
Well,
about
they
it.
almost did. They knew when to hold them and they knew when to fold them on that one here.
Yeah, that may not be Kenny Rogers, but it is Kenny Redinger out there trying to go
Yeah.
for the race lead on Jason Landry.
That ain't no Kenny Rogers indeed, but Kenny R. Redinger, they're going to challenge Landry. They're all on the freshies, tires coming up to temp. These guys starting to get a little racy now. We're almost to the halfway point in the race. No halfway bonus or stage break here. However, these guys trying to assert themselves, settle in for that long run. You saw what the clean air did for Landry there. Redinger and Parham desperate to try to challenge for that.
Yeah, right now, everybody going single file behind Landry. I think maybe everybody's thinking a little bit different on this run, right? We saw what the tires did after a couple of laps. I think everybody might be a little bit spooked that that whole cycle is going to happen again. And nobody wants to be the guy that goes spinning through the pits and loses all their time, and then maybe there's not a caution because nobody else does it. So I think we're going to see a lot of this here where it's just a lot of single file riding until later in the run when guys have used up their tires.
Perhaps what we thought we would have seen on the first stint on the initial green of the race, but these guys definitely settling down a little bit here. You see the parade single file on the back stretch, Highline dominant, just stay in line there. But you know how we are. They're all racers at heart, Joe. It just takes a matter of time before somebody gets impatient and needs to get the position and advance to the front.
Well, nobody's being impatient and we're halfway through the race. I think it might be a safe time to do it. Crank it up.
And we're going to do this MRL style Friday Night Thunder. Let's give it a crank and see the sights and sounds of Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And we're back after an awesome Crank It Up session right there. You saw the sights and sounds of Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is Friday Night Thunder, the opening round of the Chase Season 3, Round 13. I've got my main man, Smokin' Joe, with me tonight. I'm your host, Snake, and Jason Landry, I should say, is your race leader. We've seen time and again, Jason Landry has gotten the lead and gotten into that clean air and is demonstrated how precious that is. He's led for 43 laps, currently the most of anybody tonight. We've had 5 cautions up to this point for a total of 12 laps and 7 lead changes, but that 565 is showing you how to get around Las Vegas. Ken Redinger, your current series leader and reigning champion, in second, trying to find a way to get around that 565 at the moment, who's led 13 laps himself tonight. And I'll take it to Joe to go through the field here.
Yeah, so looking through everybody else here, so we actually pull this up the right way. So you see Ken Redinger started third up to second. Justin Parham right behind him. Remember, he's second in the chase coming into tonight. He's started seventh, is up to third. Matt Novella, another chase driver, is in fourth currently in this lead group. And then it's a big break back to the second group led by Blake Tuggle currently in fifth. See David Owens back here in sixth. Then we got a chase driver in the middle of the scrum, Brandon Garand, up here in seventh. We see Chase Greer in the middle of this group as well in eighth. Jay Stinson trying to move his way back forward up to ninth currently. David Brenner is in 10th. Still going through the rest of this group, see Zachary Stevens and John Beverly side by side there for 11th. Right behind them is Joe Volpus in 13th. And then Steve Lewis rounds out this group in 14th. And then we have a couple stragglers further back. Richard Swingle looks like he's still dealing with making sure his car is running up to stuff. He's in 15th currently, 8 seconds back. Jack Sanders also still dealing with some damage, I believe. He's 16th currently, half a lap down. And Dalton Connor also with some technical difficulties, trying to get his car into a good place. He's 17th, 20 seconds back.
And that's our run through the field tonight. It's been incredible highlights when we have gone green. It's a little bit more tame at the moment, but you do see the pack racing, and that middle pack has let this 5-car breakaway kind of get away from everybody. 6-car breakaway now with David Owens tagging on the back of that, but Ken Redinger gets to the rear of Landry right there, but he's just not able to figure out a way around him at the moment. Maybe he's just riding, waiting patiently, managing his equipment. You see Justin Parham there kind of looking around as an opportunist here, just staying in tow, just waiting for that right time. But you see Matt Novella diving down low there, getting a little antsy, maybe trying to find an opportunity himself.
Yeah, you can see Blake Tuggle actually broke away from that second group somehow and worked his way back up to this front one. So you see him in fifth now. Now the gap is from sixth on back, led by Chase Greer, all the way back to 13th. So the scrum has gone backwards. Blake Tuggle has broken free and is now up to fourth, trying to get up here and battling for the lead.
Yeah, Blake Tuggle showing a lot of raw speed tonight, and he's using that high side to his advantage. That 39 is pretty darn fast. Seen a lot of glimpses of it. You know, you see a lot of cars get a little loose. You pay a little bit of price of riding it up high there lap after lap, as we saw evidence by all those cars going for a ride, and a lot of loose condition. You saw Parham getting a little loose riding that high side out of 3 and 4 as well earlier in the race. But Tuggle with a lot of speed gets by Parham, now challenging Redinger for second. Look at Tuggle go.
Yeah, Redinger, I thought, tried to make a move for the lead, but Tuggle counters and tries to go to the outside, hits the wall, so Redinger going to hold on to second, and I think Tuggle's going to lose a lot of his momentum here. Ken Redinger trying to set up that move for the lead. We're coming to 40 to go, so we are in the window to make it to the end, but I don't think anybody feels safe pitting early with the way this race has gone.
Look at Redinger try to take the air off the rear of Landry there. Going to challenge for the lead. Got the inside of position. Going to show the nose. Dive it in there. And look at that slide job. Going to be able to gain the position right there. Parham going to follow underneath. And check it out. Race leader Ken Redinger takes it from Landry. New race leader there. Ken Redinger reclaims the lead. Look at Parham looking inside as well. Look at Justin Parham. Dive it deep in there, Joe. Look at him challenge for the lead here.
Yeah, Justin Parham trying to work his way forward, and now trying to get underneath Jason Landry for second. It looks like he's going to make that move happen. Landry now falls back to third, and it looks like he may fall further back. Chase Greer, David Owens have caught up to this group now. And now look at this, the 565 getting pushed.
Yeah, Tuggle's giving Landry a little push there. Let's get back up there, son, he says. But look at Barham down there trying to find a way to get underneath the 24 and get some credit and some laps led himself. Precious bonus points here to lead laps amongst other things tonight. But the 99 looking very racy. But look at Landry diving down there. He wants that lead back. Incredible race for the lead. Look at his tandem action going on here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, absolute scramble going on throughout the field here. This lead group of 7 now is having a scramble, as well as the group from 8th on back. So
Lap
2 different
traffic.
Scrambles, and you got the 93 there. That's going to make it interesting.
Wow, looks like a pinball machine going on over here at Las Vegas. No contact made, but cars scrambling everywhere. Landry and Redinger right there side by side using that side draft. Landry, a little bobble there, going to get a little bit loose there, has to gather it back up. That could have been catastrophic. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's going to create some separation in this lead group. Now the second group becomes the Chaos group. So David Brenner trying to break away, but these guys racing hard right behind him. Brandon Guerin, Jay Stinson, Joe Vulpes, Zach Stevens, and Steve Lewis all right here, all together. You can see now they're coming up to lap Dalton Connor as Brandon gets
get
high.
a little
He's going to get
slip.
behind the 93.
Hit the wall.
Be careful.
Looks like the 57 may have contacted the wall on exit right there. It almost looked like he was drifting, sliding through 3 and 4, able to navigate. Steve Lewis able to get around underneath Connor as well. But my goodness, what a dicey moment right there. These guys are really going for it tonight. You see the laps clicking down, 35 to go. One more cycle of pits upcoming at some point during this run. These guys trying to get all the track position they can to try to get the best rhythm and strategy possible to maybe steal one from Redinger, who's currently your leader. Parham keeps looking underneath there, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to carry enough on exit. As you see Redinger able to really get the momentum riding the top there. Parham is wise to slide back in under there and squeeze right in front of Novella.
I will say, whoever ends up winning this, they definitely earned it. I wouldn't say it would have been stolen from Landry or Ken Redinger with how many laps they've led so far tonight. This has been a very challenging track.
David Owens looking for precious real estate too. Look at him zigzagging, trying to find a line.
Yeah, exactly. So, like,
woo!
Yeah, this is exactly what we're talking about, right? So, guys, you know, like Ken Redinger, you know, he may be leading a lot of laps. Same with Landry earlier. But it's still so much up in the air as what could happen. Whoever does end up on top of this, though, at the end, definitely earned it with the way that this car's been driving all night.
Incredible action right there as these guys go for it. They're battling for second. Novella looking inside. A little bit of housekeeping. Beverly goes for another slide or two, decides to park it. His night is over.
Looks like Brandon Guerin also into the pits. That's a bold strategy. He's going to be the first one to pit on the lead lap. He's 32 to go, so it might be a little bit early, but if this all cycles through, he might end up in the best spot.
Yeah, it seems to be a little bit premature that you're going to have about 32 laps on that set of tires. It looks like we've only put about 25 or so on this current set. So a very interesting strategy. It could pay off in the long run if this does stay green. Does he force the hand of some of these leaders and do others follow? I don't know. Right now, we have that 7-car breakaway. Jason Landry trying to move up through the field, recovering nicely. But look at David Owens, all he can handle holding on to that race car, trying to mount the charge in third currently.
Yeah, trying to use the outside as best as he can. Meanwhile, Jason Landry is trying to do it the opposite way, using the bottom to come back forward. Right now behind Parham, who we saw battling for the lead a couple laps ago. So that's how quick it can change. And now you got Novella trying to make a move on the inside.
Absolutely. Maybe a couple of these guys cooling the tires off for a lap or two, going to get ready to mount another charge. But Matt Novella diving it
Hey.
right in there. Got Kenny a little spooked right there. Matt Novella going to slide it in there. Going to be able to drift back up top, gain the lead. Matt Novella, new race leader. Look at Matt Novella going that Monster Energy Ford Mustang. Incredible move. Textbook right there. Going to get credit for that lap led. Matt Novella in the chase gets a precious bonus point right there.
Yeah, and now we're at 30 to go in the race as well, so business about to pick up for these boys from here on out. And this is the most spread out we've seen this front group, right? These guys starting to be a little bit more spread out. 1, 2, 3, a little bit of gaps in between them. 4, 5, and 6 a little further back as well. So everybody getting a little bit spread out up here. That might bode well if you're up front like Novella, Redinger, and Owens, to get a bit of an advantage here over everybody else that was in this lead pack when they were all stacked up together.
Perhaps a few of these guys used up a little bit of their stuff, being all racy some laps back, or maybe just settled back, keeping the leaders in tow right there, just waiting to see who makes the first move to pit road. Hard to say at this point, but by the way these guys were going at it, Joe, I would have to say a couple of these guys maybe burn the right front or the right rear there and just need to kind of maintain and hold on.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing, I think, to this point. You see Parham now using the bottom once again, gets underneath Owens here, as Owens tries to run the very high line, but it's not working for him as well as he would have liked. Gets a little bit loose there. Going to give Parham the opportunity to get underneath him right here. And, oh boy. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh my, Joe Volpis there, going to slide it right there by the entrance of pit road. That's going to bring out the caution. Oh no, don't hit the tire barrier. Oh my goodness. That's going to bring out caution again for the 6th time tonight. We'll have to see exactly what happened there. But now you see it, guys. Joe, it's in that window right now. These guys have that final set of tires. They need to put some fuel in the car. This could be the money move, but what happened to Volpis here? That's really, really compelling. He's 3rd in the points as they stand. Jay Stinson behind him here on the replay. Let's unpack this.
Car's just gone.
I think he's already losing it right there. I don't think Stinson had any influence on that. It's just that typical turns 3 and 4 thing. And oh my God, little insult to injury there as he bops that inside wall / tire barrier combo. Hopefully that's not going to hurt the car. But Joe Volpis, title contender, serious issue, brings out the latest caution of the night. And look at all the leaders coming down to pit road right there.
For one.
Oh, wow. Dingle Swingle. Richard Swingle, the champion of the alternate strategy, going to stay out. Your new race leader, Richard Swingle, in the 97 Rubbermaid Kurt Busch tribute scheme.
And that's going to actually affect Brandon Guerin. He's not going to be able to get back on the lead lap here with Swingle staying out. Because Dalton Connor, I believe, was your lucky dog based on what I'm seeing here. See him coming around the track.
Big news here for chase contender Brandon Guerin there, going to be trapped a lap down. You saw him pit early to try to flip the strategy, and now he is in a purgatory-like situation, trapped a lap down because Richard Swingle is going to stay out, get credit for the lap led, and running his own kind of strategy here. And then David Owens there, he's able to exit the pits first.
Well, he exited the pits first because we're going to add some more spice to this. He took fuel only. So the front row is going to be on really old tires here compared to everybody else. The rest of the field took their last set of tires. So Swingle and Owens are both gambling that there's going to be a caution here maybe in about 10 to 15 laps that will allow them to take their last set of tires and make a 10-lap dash for their win.
This is incredible strategy. It's very bold. It's very Vegas-like in a gambling sense. We saw early in the race, once we had a caution, it triggered 3 or 4 more in succession. So I think Swingle and Owens are banking on some similar type of cooking here on the back end of the race as the laps are clicking down. You know, these guys are going to get more desperate. We saw that big pack battle for the lead on that last green flag run before this caution. So Incredible series of events right here. Are they going to be able to hook it up on the restart with all these vultures behind them on fresh General tires?
So looking at this, 14 cars on the lead lap. Connor, the last one, getting the lucky dog. Garand and Sanders are both trapped a lap down.
So Garand and Sanders going to battle for that lucky dog in the event another caution does come out. I'm curious to see, as the lights are off the pace car, how these guys are going to hook those tires up on that restart. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. If you're just tuned into the broadcast, you've tuned in at the right time. It's about to get spicy.
Yeah, front row on old tires, everybody else on new tires, and we're going to have 23 to go.
So we're going to get in that almost under 20 laps to go here. Pace car will pull off here. David Owens on the inside. Richard Swingle elects for the outside. Going to hit that Echo Park restart zone. And Richard Swingle going to get a great jump on David Owens there. Car able to hook up. Let's see if he can shift it into second and a third without sliding. Richard Swingle able to accomplish that. Going to have the clear entry into 1 and 2. Look at Novella and Redinger on those freshies trying to get around Owens. Trying to get around that car on old tires. They're going to bottle up here out of 2.
Swingle messed it up. He went way too high. I don't know what he was doing there. Should have been on the bottom. With that great restart, it's going to allow Owens to take the lead on his old tires over Ken Redinger. I doubt he's going to hold on to this for very long, though, with those older tires, because once they're up to temp, you can see, yeah, here we go.
Here's Redinger and Novella. Owens holding on for his dear life. I think the thought here is to just try to not bleed as many positions as you can. You see Swingle below him, but look at this. We're 3 wide in 1 and 2. Ken Redinger is going to slip on through. Matt Novella going to follow him. Ken Redinger regains the lead on that restart there. Look at Matt Novella looking hungry there, trying to get back that lead that he had before the caution. But Redinger and Landry on the outside there. These guys are going to get racy now, Joe.
Yeah, Landry trying to get back to where he was before that mistake earlier where he got loose. Novella trying to get back to the lead he had before the caution. And then you got Redinger there, who's taking control of most of the second half of this race. So those three have been the best cars, it seems like, all night. But Parham's had a really good car there in 4th. Blake Tuggle's been up and down. He's back up into 5th. And then, of course, you got to factor in, I mean, Owens is only going to be a factor if there's a caution, because he's on the free fall right now.
Absolutely. He and Swingle bleeding some positions there, as what we predicted would happen on the restart did happen on the restart. So they're just trying to salvage what they can, let these guys run it out and hope another caution happens. See Vulpes able to recover nicely. Steve Lewis behind him. They've got a little bit of work to do to get to the front, but Jason Landry now challenging Ken Redinger. We've got a battle for the lead right here. Landry looking hungry on the inside. Redinger not going to relent on the high side right there. It's a drag race, and they go to the start-finish line right there. Redinger's going to get credit for the lap lead, but Landry is on his side right there. Will not go away. Justin Parham and Matt Novella behind them, seeing how it's going to shake out. Parham going to get the advantage there for 3rd. Still a drag race on the backstretch. Redinger is going to gain the advantage there. Landry's going to dive it deep into turn 3, and they're back at it one more lap again.
Yeah, under 20 to go now, coming to 19 this time. So Landry, if he wants to make this pass, got to do it now before the 99 does what he did last time, which is help push the 24 himself clear. And right now, though, the thing that he's got this time that he didn't last time in Landry's favor is some cars behind him running the bottom for some draft help in his favor. So you can see now it's 4v4.
Matt Novella got Tuggle down there, got Vulpes down there. On the high side, Chase Greer and David Brenner going to be behind Redinger and Parham. But look at the side draft, trying to stay door to door with Redinger. Very tight out of 4 right there. Gets very tight. And it's still a drag race. It's tandem style. Look at this pack. It's a hornet's nest. These guys are going for it. 18 to go from Vegas on Friday Night Thunder.
Jack Sanders is at the back of this group. I don't know if that's the greatest place for him because he needs a lucky dog. But to be fair, Brandon Caron's right at the tail of this group as well. So he's got no choice as a lucky dog. This is looking a lot like a super speedway at this point.
There you go. Redinger able to clear Landry. They're going to go down to the bottom to block super speedway style. Going to control the lanes. The 24 doing it super speedway style. trying to throw the block, keep the momentum. Got Parham and Greer behind him right there. Matt Novella doing his best to try to stay behind the 565, but it looks like Ken and now Parham is going to get the advantage on the outside right there. The 565 bleeding some spots. Novella drips up to the high line. The high line will prevail here.
Yeah, everybody's pretty much migrating to the high side except for Landry. He's going to be odd man out here, looking to find his way back into the draft. Looks like maybe Chase Greer might get cycled out here, depending on which way the 56 goes. He's going to go with Landry on the bottom this time. So we'll see. Very, very weird just how much, well, not weird, but just kind of crazy how much all these guys cycle through positions so fast.
It's a quick shuffle of the deck.
It's way faster than we see at a super speedway, even how much these guys have been cycling all night. One lap you got somebody racing for the lead, the next lap they're in 7th, so not something we're used to really seeing in the series with these cars to that extent, but it's been that way tonight here at Vegas.
Absolutely. Ken Redinger, your race leader here. 15 to go from Vegas. The laps counting down. Justin Parham in the 99 there. Currently second in the points. Trying to find a way to get around that 24 to close that points gap. You have a pack of hungry drivers nipping at their heels. The 24 is starting to get a slight advantage in that clean air. Does the 99 have anything for him? Will that 565 be able to mount a second charge to try to get back into the lead?
Yeah, right now those guys racing hard, but right here in the middle of this group is some chaos as well for 6th place. It looked like the 39 was peaking 3 wide on Brenner and Volpus. Didn't end up sticking it down there all the way, but it looks like he's looking again here out of turn 4.
3 wide.
So, yeah, here we go. This time it looks like it's going to be 3 wide.
It's Tuggle on the apron.
Oh, boy.
Woo! Close quarters combat right there. No contact, though. There'll be a race on. Ken Redinger still with the slight advantage. Parham holding on a second. And you see Matt Novella and Jason Landry there trying to battle for third. Looks like Landry's going to get that. And it looks like Matt Novella is going to be the odd man out for the moment. See if he can slide back up and get behind Landry right there. And it looks like Matt Novella is going to do that. And now you have single file there as we're 12 to go from Vegas.
Yeah, 12 to go. Laps starting to wind down. Any chance that David Owens and Swingle getting back into this is really starting to dwindle, because a caution now might go green with 8 to go. So I don't know. I don't think their strategy of not pitting for tires is going to work out here for them today. We'll see though. Maybe there's something in the offing for them, but I don't think it's going to work.
You never know. Laps are winding down. 11 to go. Redinger still in the lead. Parham right behind him. The 565 and Landry behind them in third. Matt Novella going down to the bottom, challenging for third, trying to do anything there to try to break that air bubble and advance the position. But the 24 is able to do all the blocking, use that clean air to his benefit right there. It's almost like he has a force field behind the rest of the field at the moment. Coming to the line to be 10 to go from
40
Vegas.
car. 40 car gets loose.
Woo! Going down the pit road right there. Chase Greer looks like another one of those turn 3-4
Oh,
specials
98 with trouble.
Jay Stinson follows behind as well. Going to do his best at the landscaping tonight and add his signature touch. I don't know what caused that.
Oh!
Oh, Stinson. Oh my God, there's contact. Oh my goodness, David Owens is yeeted into that wall right there. That's got to be the caution right there.
Oh yeah, there
pace
comes
car
the pace
is
car.
out.
Oh my
goodness. 7th caution of the night from Vegas. David Owens is without a nose right now. Incredible series of events. You saw Chase Greer down pit road. You saw Jay Stinson down pit road. It looks like something happened out of 3 once again tonight, and David Owens flying by gets a piece of that 98. Incredible tonight. This put this race on its head as we saw Redinger there was doing his best to fight off all comers.
Well, David Owens got his caution. He's going to be able to take tires, but not going to have the luxury of having a faster pair if something goes wrong coming back up through the field anymore.
Yeah, so you can see that right front is all whacked out. I don't think it's making contact with the racing surface at this point. I think he's got the 3-wheel motion going on, but that's incredible. Let's take a look. Unpack this series of events for us, Joe.
You can see the 40 and the 98 do the same exact thing here. So the 40 decides he's going to stay on pit road. The 98, when he gets it rolling here, Jay decides instead of staying down the pits, that he's going to go back up onto the track. You know, just instinct to go back to the track, right? And then when he gets
Absolutely.
back
Been there, done
onto
that.
the apron, you can see it's just completely out of control. And
Yeah,
David Owens almost turns him into a T-bone steak, but able to miss him for the most part here. You can see his life flash before his eyes.
Woo! Clips him just a little bit there, clips him easy. You know, when something like that happens, the 98 goes for a spin right there, slides the tires, goes through the grass, and then back on that apron where you have those painted logos, does all sorts of things to the tires, so that 98 unable to hook up and keep it straight, and David Owens just happens to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, it's been a rough
Turns
one
3
for
and
Jay
4
Stinson. Yeah.
have been an evil nemesis to much of the field. You see the 98 there trying to get some service, maybe
I think
fixing a
it's
little bit of that damage.
I think it's Jover for the 98 car here as well.
Another Chase contender with a problem tonight that's going to hurt his chances. We've seen a few tonight have unfortunate circumstances. Attrition is a big part of any kind of playoff or chase situation. So once again, like we said at the opening of the broadcast, every point matters. The room for error shrinks.
Yeah, right now Brandon Guerin's still trapped a lap down, but he's now up to 15th, so he's in front of 3 chase drivers. So I guess that's a bit of an upside for him, glass half full for his situation.
Take a positive from every negative situation there. So it looks like Jack Sanders, the beneficiary there. So the Colonel, see what he can do. Is we're going to have ourselves a little shootout. I won't even begin to give you odds on what may unfold here in these closing laps.
Yeah, so what we're
But
looking at,
if you were a betting man, Joe, what would you see tonight?
well, 4 of the top 6 are your top 4 in points. So I think it's a high probability that one of the top 4 in points wins the race here.
So there you have it. Place your bets before we go back green. It's going to be a free-for-all. It's going to be a battle royale, I'd like to say. These guys are going to be all wadded up, and there's going to be no quarter given. I'm excited to see what happens. Hopefully they can keep it clean, and we can run this thing out. But you never know. We have overtime if we need it.
Yeah, we do. We're coming to, what are we coming to here? We're coming to 6 to go here. So 6-lap shootout about to commence when we go back racing.
And Ken Redinger, he decides to take the outside. Justin Parham, who's been battling ever so mightily to try to gain the lead, going to start inside. Pace car off. We're going to rack him up once more from Vegas. 6 to go when we go to the line. We go to the restart zone here. Redinger gets a great jump. Parham unable to match. We're back racing. 6 to go from Vegas. Redinger able to clear both lines. Parham trying to battle back on the inside. Got Landry on his heels. Redinger able to just barely clear the nose of Parham through 1 and 2. Ken Redinger asserts the lead.
Yeah, he asserted his presence right there for certain. Blake Tuggle thinking about taking it 3 wide here again down the backstretch. And, oh, we got contact. Uh-oh.
Oh, Novella and Landry.
Oh,
and
that's a big
oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Steve Lewis involved.
Oh.
Steve Lewis involved. Richard Swingle involved on just getting those freshies right there. Oh, my goodness. And broadcaster Jinx says, I think we're going to have to use another caution there, potentially taking us to overtime. Oh, my goodness. You kind of just saw it brewing right there. These guys were all wadded up, and just a little bit of contact right there. You see the 565 and the 56 getting together there. Just ran out of real estate.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There's that car. That car is very skewed right there. I don't think that's going to work out too well. Out of all of this chaos, looks like David Owens is going to cycle his way forward on his freshie, so that might work out in his favor.
Is that Stevens without a nose that I see? The 47 with needing of a facelift.
Yeah, a lot of cars need a facelift. That was a big, big wreck. We're gonna have to go unpack what just happened there, because that was...
Yeah, that was the big one from Vegas. Wow, 8th caution of the night. Here's the replay. Show us what happened, Smokin' Joe.
Yeah, it looks like the 565 gets tight, and then, yeah,
Brenner
the contact.
involved.
Oh, and then
Richard,
Swiggle comes in with the finisher.
the pro ARCA break right there from the 97 in the ARCA series. Oh my gosh.
97. Oh, my. Oh.
You saw Tuggle on the bottom there, just able to get around it. Blake Tuggle just avoids that. Incredible.
Yeah,
Woo!
Volpus on the outside. Dalton Connor barely misses it. Owens, Sanders. Brandon Guerin misses it,
Brandon
too. He should be
Guerin.
back on the lead lap after all
He'll
this. Oh,
he'll
my
be your
goodness.
he'll be your lucky dog. I don't think he had a contact point or a net code
Yeah, look at
from
him.
that. So there you go, the 57 back on the lead lap. So he has older tires than much of the field, but able to get back on the lead lap. Hopefully able to cheat a few positions, gain as many points as possible to bolster his opening round of the chase. So good to see him back on the lead lap tonight.
Oh yeah, that's for certain. And as we broadcast here, I think it's a good time to talk about the wide world of sports here because I think we should be ESPN at the same time. So every
Yeah.
game in the first round of the NBA playoffs that started, none of them were single-digit games except for the Lakers game last night. Was 8 points. That was your closest margin of victory in the first games of the first round. So I think we're in for a better finish than any of those games have been for the past 2 days.
I think there has been more compelling action in this race than any of those playoff games. And I am an NBA fan just as you are. But I think racing is where it's at tonight for the action, even if it's only in the world of the sim.
All right, so now the top 3 in the running order are your top 3 in points. Somehow through all of this, Joe Volpus is 3rd. So I don't know how that all worked out, but I guess he can.
Well,
I guess he can thank the chaos.
Sometimes it's a little bit of skill, sometimes it's a little bit of luck, and sometimes it's a little bit of both. So the 13 counting his blessings with an opportunity here. Blake Tuggle on the outside. You've seen him have great short run speed here. We're going to rack him up here for a couple lap shootout. Looks like Redinger's going to take the bottom on this one, and Parham's going to go up top. A little change role reversal right there. I'm curious to see what's going to happen there. Looks like Redinger's been able to time those restarts really good. Parham just needs to have a perfect restart here to try to match Ken if he's got any shot right now.
Yeah, we're going to have only 13 cars restart this race. Landry out, Swingle in the pits, Stinson in the pits. I think those two are also out. So you got the 13 cars left on the lead lap for a 2-lap shootout. The unofficial green-white checkered.
A traditional, organic, natural green-white checker. Pace car is off. Redinger leads him on the inside. Parham will be on the outside. Echo Park restart zone. We're back racing. Redinger gets a great jump yet again. And it'll be 2 to go with the line here. Redinger clears with ease. Redinger's going to have his choice on corner entry. Looks like he's going to run the middle, take it down to the bottom. It's side by side for second with Volpus and Parham right there. Blake Tuggle on the back bumper of Parham. Is he going to give him a shove up top? It looks like Ken Redinger is going to try to direct the traffic, block the air, break the bubble like they do in super speedway racing. Oh my goodness, Joe. Volpus is coming right there for third, but Parham's going to settle into second.
Yeah, a lot of chaos. Here comes David Owens around the outside on fresh tires.
White
flag is out, though. Going to run out of time, I think.
Here comes David Owens with a lot of speed and fresh rubber, but Ken Redinger is holding it down. Parham has got one last shot to wrap the top and gain that momentum. Try to get a run. Look at Owens leaning on Tuggle for third right there. Wow, what a move. Volpus right back there in fifth. Coming to turn 3, Ken Redinger has got him cleared with ease. Parham tries to gather it up. Oh, contact with Owens and Tuggle, but it's not going to matter because Ken Redinger is going to take it from Las Vegas in the opening round of the chase on Friday Night Thunder.
Absolute pandemonium once again. They all wreck on back. Wow.
Holy smokes, Batman. A lot of contact there in turn 3. Woo-hoo-hoo.
I think we're still waiting on a couple guys to finish the race. Oh, never mind. David Owens got it across in 13th. Zach Stevens going to get it across in 12th. And, yeah, wow. That really shook up the running order there at the end.
That was incredible. You saw Owens and Tuggle going for it for third right there. Owens ends up 13th, but the 24th, Ken Redinger, is going to be doing the donuts there. He rolled the dice, and he is your winner from Las Vegas tonight to open our chase. Ken Redinger picking up where he left off in the regular season, making a statement tonight from Las Vegas.
Yeah, big dub for Ken. He led 45 of the 110 laps ran. Didn't lead the most laps, but led pretty close to it, and ended up getting the trophy here at the end of the night. Great performance from Ken. And while we watch him do donuts here, we'll go take a gander at what happened there in the last
I'd
corner.
love to see, yeah, I love to see that. You saw Owens on the fresh rubber. He's wishing maybe he had another lap or two. Makes contact with Tuggle. Tuggle bounces off the wall, clears the right rear. Ugh. Woo, look at that. Other cars in the fray.
Most chase drivers are going to be happy with this one, except for Dalton Connor. Gets bullied by Louis, gets ran
Oh,
up by
Novella.
Novella, and then ends up inside Zach Stevens. So
Oh my gosh.
every chase driver except for Dalton Connor are going to be happy with that last lap.
Look at that. Just, oh my goodness. How do you unpack all of that? You know, it was a green-white checker. These guys are going for it, and just takes one event to trigger the chain reaction. Justin Parham, just not enough, but it's going to get the runner-up spot. Ken Redinger, your winner tonight. Justin Parham, second place in the points, will remain second in the points there. But it looks like Redinger's going to open that gap up just a little bit. We'll look at the points after. Joe Volpus in third, so able to recover nicely after a few spins and a few landscaping jobs. David Brenner with an excellent performance there, top 5 for that 22. A nice run out of Brenner tonight. Jack Sanders able to get back on the lead lap. Going to be able to recover after he had a few landscaping adventures and jobs to do. That side hustle worked out great for him tonight. Going to finish 5th. Chase Greer showed a lot of speed, was in the pack all night. Going to solidify 6th. Steve Lewis there, we saw him involved in a little bit here and there, but able to get a top 10 like he's known for. Steve Lewis in 7th. Matt Novella led laps. He was competing at the front there before these last cautions there. Cost him a chance at maybe a podium. Going to finish 8th. And Brandon Guerin able to get back that lucky dog on that last caution. Recovers nicely back on the lead lap. Gets 9th. Great way to open his chase campaign. And Blake Tuggle had great short run speed, challenged the podium, was around the leaders for many portions of this race, gets caught up in that last lap contact, going to send him back to 10th.
Yep. Dalton Connor talked about how he was probably not going to be happy with that last lap. Very disappointing. Lost a lot of spots there at the end. Ends up in 11th. Zach Stevens ended up in that chaos. Ends up 12th. David Owens, who was in 3rd on those fresh tires, battling for 3rd, ends up 13th last car on the lead lap. Actually, last car to finish the race there, as everybody else ended up DNFing here at one time or another. We saw Landry and Swinkle both DNF from that big wreck there with 5 to go. So we saw Stinson out on the caution prior to that. We saw Beverly out of the race a little bit earlier on that long green flag run in between the two cautions there on 47 and 83, I believe. We also saw Tommy Fox and Joe Amato then out of the race on that wreck on lap 25. So a lot of wrecks, a lot of attrition here for Vegas and for a 19-car field, but that's just the way the race ended up going with what ended up happening today. And yeah, that's created some chaos here in the points.
Yeah, real rough one. You see at the bottom there, Gambrel and Fritz not in attendance tonight, so that really hurts in the points. Ken Redinger able to flex his lead, stretch it out 3 points to a 15-point margin over Justin Parham there. Joe Volpus there able to stay in 3rd, but drifted back from 13 back to 18 back now. Matt Novella in 4th, so still chalk right there for your top 4, but they have some work to do. They need to start rolling them sleeves up and getting that work put in there if they want to catch Ken. Steve Lewis, a big winner tonight, gains a position into 5th. Brandon Guerin, also a big winner tonight, moves up 2 positions into 6th. Dalton Connor, despite having multiple incidents and a lot of difficulty tonight, is still able to move up a point in the standings. Still well within striking distance, but they definitely have their work cut out for them. And then Jay Stinson remains unchained. Get caught up in that incident there. Contact with Owens ended his race. He was in the top 10 for many parts of that race, so that's going to hurt. And then Tommy Fox, you see the early retire there, and Beverly there, he retired during the race as well.
Yeah, so that's pretty much where we're at this point, heading into Old Phoenix for next week. So Phoenix onto a bit of
Yeah.
a short track streak here in the middle part of the chase. We'll see if anybody's able to break away. Ken Redinger, even though he won, only gained a couple points on the drivers behind him because they finished directly behind him. So still very easy to make up points here. Phoenix, of course, a bit of a driver's track as well, with it being a mile long. We'll see how things go. It's been a while since we've been there in the ARCA cars. 125 laps around there should make for an exciting show next week.
Yeah, so you see the gauntlet ahead, Phoenix, and then Iowa, more short track racing, the Milwaukee Mile, a flat 1 mile oval, and then it all culminates at the Legacy Atlanta, the old layout of Atlanta Motor Speedway. Another fun one where you really have to manage and take care of your equipment for the big finale there. So plenty in store there. Very excited to see the upcoming schedule pan out. I can't wait to see how these guys sort it out. If tonight's any indicator, we're in for one hell of a chase.
Yeah, that's for certain. We'll see. We'll see what happens next week. I would imagine a lot of the chaos from tonight will really quell down with the car driving hopefully normal at Phoenix next
Yeah.
week, and back to
So
business as usual.
takeaways from tonight.
Uh, well, that was chaos. I, I, I really don't know because we haven't really seen the ARCA car ever drive like that before anywhere, so I don't know what to really make of it. All I know is no matter what happens, it looks like Ken Redinger, Justin Parham, and Joe Volpes find a way to finish 1, 2, and 3 in the race. So uh, I guess that's the takeaway is you're gonna have to find a way to unseat those three from the podium. Depending, yeah, it don't matter what kind of style track, what kind of style setup, you got to find a way to get them off the podium here in the next couple weeks if you want to win the title.
Absolutely. And you mentioned it. Next week, we're at Phoenix. You said driver's track. What are we looking for next week when we go to the desert?
Well, with the way the fuel's set up and everything, it's probably going to be a one-stop. So there's going to be that extra set of tires to play with, a lot like the old Friday Night Thunder Short Track Series used to be. So I know a lot of guys know how to really utilize that strategy, having that extra set of tires to play with to the best of their ability. We've seen it before in the past, not only in other series where you have additional sets, but in this one as well for a short track. So. We'll see how it all plays out, as well as Phoenix seems to be a very notorious track for two tires to be a viable option. So we'll see if that happens next week as well.
Absolutely. So be sure to give the thumbs up, hit the bell icon, get all the alerts. You don't want to miss the action when we go to Phoenix next week and for the rest of our chase. Ken Redinger, your winner tonight from Las Vegas. So excited to maybe have him in the booth at some point, talk about his campaign, talk about his performance this season as he is trying to repeat as MRL Friday Night Thunder Series champion. But in the meantime, it's been a hell of a broadcast and a ton of fun. And for Smokin' Joe in the booth, I'm your host, Snake. And remember, go fast or get past.